welcome back to our channel. I'm Vinita.
I'm Preet.
And that little doggy down there is Chewie. Anyways, we thought we would make a video because long distance relationships, well, they're something, aren't they?
They're challenging.
Challenging. They are rarely successful. And everybody knows when you hear the word long distance relationship, the only sound that comes out of the other person's mouth is, oh boy.
Yeah, it's just in our society today, people want things immediately and they want to be around people, and it's a Yelp culture. We always look towards what's the next best thing. So the next best thing is something right in front of my face instead of waiting it out or wanting something across the country that's hard to come by, right?
Yeah, so really quickly, I'm from LA and he's from the East Coast, New York. And basically we met on a video and here we are today. We decided to just keep dating long distance, and we traveled a lot every single month, as you could see from our past videos. And we just wanted to share with you guys some of the things that we dealt with and we struggled with.
Pitfalls.
To help us become stronger and actually make this relationship work. Because as you know, this guy has actually moved across the country to be with me, and now we're engaged. So there are some things that we did learn, but we want to help you guys out there if you are in the same position, or if you want to be, or are in one, or anything.
Don't listen to people that say it's not gonna work or it's not worth it, because listen, it's a compromise is only a compromise if you get something you don't want. Is that a pizza she threw? No, it's a dog toy.
Yeah, so we're gonna just take notes on our own and kind of share them together and then share them with you guys.
We're gonna list the 5 pitfalls, 5 hardest things about long distance relationships and our solutions to them.
Yep, so here we go. Alright, so my number one thing that was really frustrating was the time difference. So in LA and New York, there's a 3-hour time difference. And every time that I would be waking up at, say, 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., he'd already gotten his morning started and he was already at work. Or if it was time for bed for him at, like, let's say midnight, I was only at 9 p.m., so I wanted to talk to him more. And we used our phone a lot. We would FaceTime all day long and text and phone call. So it was just really difficult because I was like, oh, I want to talk to you some more. And he was like, no, I have to go to bed. I have work in the morning.
Tell him the story about the first time we ever spoke.
Yeah, even the very first time we spoke on the phone, I think it was like 8 o'clock my time, and I was just hanging out at my friend's restaurant, and I was like, oh, hey, it's nice to hear your voice on the phone. And he was like, oh, it's 11 o'clock. I have to go to bed. And I was like, what?
It was more rude, though. I was just like, yeah, I have to go to sleep now. Bye. I have an early morning, I think.
Yeah, I was like, the nerve of someone to do that to me, but I understand. You're responsible, you have a job, you have to get up early, whatever. It was just very frustrating, but we ended up, you know, how did we resolve this issue, babe?
I mean, it was challenging till the end. Like, I mean, I put time difference as one of my things too, but it was, you know, you work 12 hours a day, you want to go to sleep, but the same thing is you gotta make time for the person. But that's why I think why we succeeded so much, and all of you guys that are in this position can succeed, is the fact of FaceTime for Apple people. I'm sure Google has their own way of FaceTiming one another. Pretty much video chatting, constant phone call, constant text message. It's communication. It goes back down to like what our parents said. Communication is a key to all relationships.
Okay, number 2. Babe talks a lot. Okay, number 2 was when somebody was sick. It was a little difficult. So let's say I was sick, I would miss him to like comfort me, or, you know, babe, bring me soup, or send me some flowers. Like, you know, like ladies or guys, you know, you want someone there to like physically be there for you, you know? Or if he was sick, I would be feeling bad because I'd be like, oh, I want to bring you soup or come check on you and like take care of you. So that for me was really challenging. The most that we could do again was just FaceTime each other while the other person was sick, and we were at that point already comfortable with each other. So, you know, he had seen me at my worst moments and I had seen him at his pretty bad moments. And we were just there for each other, and he was super sweet. He did send me flowers a few times, and he actually sent me some food too, like Thai food when I was like
we couldn't have dinner together. So we tried to have dinner together on FaceTime.
Yeah, so sickness was my number 2.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go ahead and do one?
I mean, wow, I never even have thought about that, but it ties into that. It was the distance, the fact of actually being able to comfort someone, to hold them, to feel them, to walk down the street, like activities that couples that meet face to face take for granted. Yeah. Holding someone's hand, walking down the street, putting your arm around someone at a movie or at a restaurant, laughing, like all these like little things that people take for granted, but we didn't get a chance to have, so therefore we appreciate them so much. Okay. Now I can just do
it. Yeah, okay. Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
My paper! All right, so that was my number 3. The fourth one of mine was holidays. Oh. So, during the holidays, you kind of want to be with your significant other, whether it's a birthday or Thanksgiving or Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever, right? So before we were actually semi-serious about each other, we didn't spend Christmas or Thanksgiving together that first year because of like work schedule and just like it was just not good planning. Our little guy is so cute. So I was kind of sad and lonely. I was like, I want to be with him. So we did FaceTime each other, which was great. But then you see all your friends like, celebrating on Instagram and Snapchat with their friends in person. And we just have each other on FaceTime, which was amazing. But you just kind of like miss the holidays thing, But then that next year, we actually planned our flights so that we did see each other on our birthdays. And we did something nice on those specific days. So it ended up working out. So if you guys are working with that same problem, try to plan around the holiday. I don't know. Yeah. Flights are a little, sorry to cut you off, flights are a little bit more expensive, but like if it's Christmas, but try to work it out or go to a different destination.
This was not even planned, but that was a phenomenal segue, Dave, for what my thing was.
Oh, what's your thing?
Was finances. So for a lot of people, the majority of people, to fly or to take a bus or take a train, we did this 17 months in a row. Like she came to New York or I went to LA or we went places. So for a lot of people to plan that and to spend money, it's a lot. I mean, the only thing, like, what's the solution to that? Sacrifices. I mean, this is another thing of mine, but sacrifices, like changing yourself, not changing yourself in a negative way, but evaluating what's important in your life and what's not. So, I mean, personally, I can tell you that I used to go out more, not like go out and party and stuff like that, but eat more food outside, like go eat steak dinners or pasta dinners or seafood dinners with my friends. But when I met her, I said to myself, I would rather spend time with her via FaceTime and eat the same type of food that I can make at home. So I would sacrifice that and not spend that money and use that money for fun to visit her. The other things that you could do is obviously set up frequent flyer miles, take advantage of them. And I think maybe of the 17 trips, 3 of them or 4 of them were free just because we spent so many miles. But if you really think about it,
thanks, JetBlue.
Yeah, shout out to JetBlue. But if you really think of 3 to 4, that's a $400 trip. That's almost $1,500 that we saved. That was and hotels.com too.
Oh yeah, shout out to hotels.com. We stayed in a lot of hotels.
Yeah, we used their reward system to that. But the finances was a really big challenge because I knew that it was relatively slow last year due to the election, but I knew that it was challenging, so I would sacrifice certain things to spend time with my babe.
A babe.
Yeah.
Can I go to my next one? My last one was arguments. So if you were to have an argument with a significant other, if you were in person, you could easily go to their house and maybe like talk it out.
Yeah. Or
pick up the phone and say, hey, can you come over? So, so let's say you have an argument, right? Babe, get out of there. So all that we could do was FaceTime each other and okay, so for me, if I was like upset or something, I tend to shut down and kind of like have my own space. Whereas this sensitive
How much space do you need? You live 3,000 miles away.
Okay. Emotional space. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. So this guy right here wants to talk to you about your problems.
There so many times I had 30 phone calls. Pick up the phone, pick up the phone, pick up the phone, pick up the phone.
I didn't want to talk.
At work, I'm like, pick up the phone.
I didn't want to talk. I just emotionally shut down, which some people do, and some people actually want to like talk it out. So depending on who you are, it's very hard sometimes, but he ended up learning that that's how I was and how I dealt with arguments, and I ended up learning that he needs to talk it out. So to respect each other's wishes, I ended up like trying to talk it out more, and he ended up giving me a little bit of space if there was a fight. So we ended up learning about each other actually, and I think it helped us, right?
A big struggle that I had was, I mean, look, we're both in the United States of America, but like the East Coast and the West Coast are two different cultures. So she learned about my anxiety-driven culture, and I learned about her culture of tackling the problem, but in a different manner. So it's not like West Coasters just completely avoid issues, but like, you know, turmoil. They deal with it, but they deal with it on their own terms. Whereas I would drop everything and I just focus on it. So that was a hard thing for me too, because you brought in a new zen in my life where I was like, I could just relax. But now living here, I understand why. It's like summer. It's like the perfect day every day here. It's out of control.
Kind of.
Yeah, so it's amazing.
All right, well, this has been an extremely
I'm gonna
long
go
video,
cry, okay?
and he's gonna go cry. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below.
This is gonna be a good one.
And I hope that we helped you guys. We definitely have made it this far.
Hang tight and look at yourself.
He quit his job in New York and moved and sold everything and moved here. Now we both live in LA together, and
what do? We had 7 boxes on UPS and a car full of stuff.
Yep, but it was a great trip, and we will share that with you next time. So subscribe, like, follow us on Instagram at Remember That Time Blog, and we'll see you guys later.
Yeah, I want to hear the questions and comments, but you can do it. We did
All right.
it.